Hi everyone, welcome to All Things Iceland, the place to get the inside scoop on Icelandic nature, history, culture, and language. My name is Jules, and I had this hilarious idea, at least it's hilarious to me, to share with you in this particular video some words that you can easily say in English. In fact, it sounds the same or pretty much the same in Icelandic as it does in English, but when you translate those words, they're very different. and oftentimes, even when you hear the word in Icelandic, you think of a word in English that's like, okay, maybe it's a little bit naughty, maybe a little bit adult humor. And so that's just FYI, like most of my videos are ones where people of all different ages, young children, teenagers, all that jazz, can watch. But this one, there is a little bit of adult humor in there, so FYI, you know, if you have very small children or ones that you don't want to maybe hear when it comes to some sexual things, just, you know, warning in advance, in essence. So I'll just get into it. There's 5 in particular that I could come up with, and actually did a little bit of crowdsourcing of Icelandic people to try and find some funny ones, and 5 of them came up. If you know of some others, feel free to put it down in the comment section. If there's some in the language that you speak or grew up with or whatever, and you think it also either translates or like it sounds similar in English and the difference in the meaning makes it funny, feel free to share that. I'm always all for being in the comments and reading some funny things. So the first one is probably the one that's made me laugh the most, and it has to do with the word cock. And so there is a word in Icelandic, specifically Kokkur, and due to the Icelandic grammar, it can be declined to the word cock, which in English, there's a couple of different ways in which we would use the word cock. And of course, one of them is for a male chicken or, you know, rooster, and the other is for, you know, a body part of a guy. In Icelandic, cock, or kokkur in its like nominative form, means a cook. And the story that at least made me laugh is that a friend of ours was talking about how, and she said this in English, but couldn't remember the word for cook, and she's like, I love cock shows. And it was like, what? She's like, I love cock shows. And we were like, laughing so hard, like, what are you talking about? I'm not sure if I know what you're saying. And this person is like a little bit older, so they were looking bewildered, like, why are you saying that? And my husband understood at one point. He was like, oh, Kokkur, you like cooking shows, you like shows that people Sorry. Like I said, this one makes me laugh a whole lot because it was just so innocent and so hilarious when this happened, and it's just a story that I won't ever forget it. So, on to the next one. So the next word in Icelandic that I think is really funny when you think about it in English is Kaka. And in Icelandic, Kaka means cake, okay? But in English, for me at least, this is a nickname, at least I grew up learning this, as a nickname for poop. And I'm curious if other people have also learned this too. It's like, you know, you speak to little kids and it's like, oh, you went caca in your diaper. You know, it's just kind of this little silly thing we would say to children. And of course, coming to Iceland, learning the language, and at birthday parties, like everyone's so excited about the súkkulaði kaka, which is literally chocolate cake. But in my brain, I'm thinking chocolate poo. Great, we're all gonna be eating chocolate poo. You know, it's like, and of course, obviously we're not. And it's just because I grew up learning that, so it is something that comes into my mind. And it makes me giggle too. It also makes me wonder how many other people, like I mentioned, learned Kaka as a nickname for poop. Definitely let me know in the comments. Number 3 is actually a word that you might have heard when I was talking to Claudia. She's the human rights lawyer here that originally is from Jamaica. And it happened where she heard this word of her former husband when they were together at a party, and it like really riled her up because she thought that he was talking about like their intimate time together. And that word is sex. So in Icelandic, the word sex is so commonly used because it's a number, and it literally means the number 6. And so like, you can hear this like Claudia did. If you didn't, know the language, you'd hear someone saying "sextiok sex, 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 sex." Like it doesn't, for Icelandic people, unless they're just being silly when it comes to speaking in English or something like that. For them, this is not something that has to be associated with having sex. But for a person who knows that in the English language, you might as well think that, like, Icelandic people are talking really dirty, which, to be fair, there are a lot of jokes about that are way dirtier than just saying the word sex in Icelandic. So I actually think that's pretty tame just to hear that in general, but that is for sure a word that in English would be missed by an English speaker who doesn't understand Icelandic. If you were to hear it, you'd be like, huh, are they talking about sex? Like, what is this conversation? We're just like one big party here. And it's presumably not at a sex party, but I'm not judging. Maybe not in COVID times, but you understand, but you get what I mean. Number 4 is Krap, like literally crap, right? I mean, it's a little different sounding in Icelandic, except it isn't spelled with a C, it's spelled with a K. The thing though is, if you were to hear this and you weren't familiar with the language, you might think that they're talking about garbage or something that is not of value. And it would be confusing because more than likely you would be in the ice cream store because Krap, at least how I've encountered it, is a type of like slushy. Like, say if you'd gone to like 7-Eleven or one of those convenience stores and they have those slushies, they're different colors and stuff, that is Krap in Iceland. So like, yeah, which, I mean, when you think about it actually in terms of like, it's not very good for you, it is kind of like crap for your health and tons of sugar and whatever else, but that is not, I don't think, where they got the inspiration for that name from. So, I encourage you, if you go to Ísbúðin, which is an ice cream store in Iceland, to definitely see if you recognize that word. And maybe even try one. Why not? Number 5 is Síminn. And that literally means in Icelandic, the phone. But of course, in English, Síminn has a couple of different meanings, and that depends on the spelling. One of them being a person who works on a ship, and another one being liquid that comes from a cock. So that is always really interesting to me. And I don't think about it all the time when it comes to a phone, but still, I do sometimes remember. And when I was actually thinking of this list, that word kind of popped up out of nowhere, and I was like, Síminn, huh? That's a good one. I'm adding it to the list. So I do have a bonus one though, and it's more cute than like really funny, and that is the word moose in Icelandic, and I just think it's really sweet. So moose means a mouse in Icelandic, or you could sometimes use it as a nickname for like your child. It's like super cute. Whereas of course in English, moose might be like a huge animal or it could be like a chocolatey delight, So it's super fascinating when you're going through words like this, and hopefully you've enjoyed kind of just hearing about some of these words that sound the same or like so similar to English, but when it comes to the meaning and the spelling, those are quite different. And the possibility for getting them confused, especially when it comes to in a way that might be embarrassing, like sex, semen, cock, and they're really harmless words, meaning like they're not meant to be sexual at all in Icelandic, but they can be in English. So if you enjoyed this video, definitely give it a thumbs up, and if you like more of these videos, I definitely want to create more around like the language and things of that nature. I'm working on more adventure videos. Those take a lot more time to film and edit and things like that, but they are coming up in the near future. So make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss out on adventures like that. And in addition, on the All Things Iceland Patreon community, I have added the benefit of you being able to submit questions for the people that I'm interviewing. In the future, during my interviews, you will be hearing me say like, this person from the All Things Iceland Patreon community asks whatever question during interviews that you've seen on this channel. So if you like that, plus other benefits like Ask Me Anythings every month, Folklore Friday every week, and so much more, sometimes behind the scenes stuff, then check out the link to the All Things Iceland Patreon community below and become a member, because it's a really fun environment and it's another way of being able to interact with me directly. So thanks for watching as always, and I will see you in the next one.